Get back to that in a second on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. My man's got to catch a flight to Dallas. He is the guy at Ed Carpenter Racing. We call him Ed Carpenter on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. That was a fairly solid weekend out of you and the fellas. Well done.
Thank you. It was definitely a good weekend. Gratifying to have all of us right there together, starting second, third, and fourth. It would have been only thing better would have been having one of us on the pole and sweeping the front row, but can't get greedy.
Yeah, you can. You better. You got to get greedy. Get greedy.
We tried. It just didn't work out.
Hey, did you expect this type of effort? I shouldn't say effort. That's the wrong thing to say. But this type of accomplishment at the end of the weekend, I mean, it is impressive where you guys racing team-wise are at the front.
It's certainly part of the goals is you want to have fast cars, and aside from that, we really work hard to have equal cars, and have all of them be quick and at least the same. And I think the team did a really good job making that happen.
Ed Carpenter starting in the middle of row one. Spencer Piggott right next to him. And you got Ed Jones, all three ECR guys. Ed Jones starting in fourth on the inside of row number two. Anybody's run surprise you? Was it yours? Was it Spencer? Was it Ed as far as how things went down this weekend?
I was kind of surprised that I ended up the quickest of our three. I thought Spencer and Ed were maybe a little quicker. But the conditions were weird. It was windy and gusty, and I think that maybe factored in and jumbled everybody up a little bit. But I think of all the years we've been doing the Fast 9 shootout, I think we maybe had more movement forward and backward in that session than what's normal. So it was an exciting day. Hopefully those that stuck around enjoyed it after what was a long, wet day. But it was nice to get it in and put in the show. And I thought the last row stuff was highly entertaining as well.
It was. I mean, as a team yourself, with a grassroots effort as you have, is it kind of do your heart good to see a team like Uncos, building from the ground floor up? I mean, Ricardo was a mechanic, I think, is his background a little bit. Does it do your heart good to see the growth like that? Because for so long, this is what this place has been about and been built upon, really.
Yeah. He's got a great story. He started out as a go-kart mechanic and then started his own go-kart team. I think Spencer was actually his second driver that he had on his team. And then they went on to win championships together. So really cool to see him succeed and pull that off after a really tough and challenging week. And I thought Kyle, being a young driver, only his second 500 now, it took a lot of courage to rebound from what they went through, and kudos to them. It was cool to see. Great storyline. Did McLaren come at you for any help as far as that was concerned? Does anybody ever come at you for any help, team-wise? It happens from time to time, but we're there we've got our own goals and objectives, and our people work very hard to put the product out there that we do, and I feel like to go, putting that hard work and effort towards someone else would be a disservice to the people that work for Ed Carpenter Racing and all the time and energy that they put in and sacrifice time away from their families to make days like yesterday a reality.
Ed Carpenter joins us. Do you know what to do when it comes to making your car faster?
Certainly when you've been at it as long as I've been, this is my 16th year, you definitely, I don't want to say you know what to do, but you know what the car should feel like and you know how it should behave. So that makes it a little easier to help guide the engineers into making wise decisions and focusing on the right things. But it's highly competitive out there, and it's an honor to be starting up front, and really proud of the effort out of our team.
Could you grab a wrench and fix something on your car?
If I had to, I probably could.
What's the maximum level you could go in the toolbox to help out your own cause?
They don't let me work on them because that's what they get paid to do. But up until I started racing Indy cars, I worked on all my own race cars. So if it really came down to a pinch, I could get quite a bit of the work done.
You could. I want to see this.
Pretty confident.
I got to see this.
I'm going to say I don't think I could do as good of a job as any of our mechanics because they're pros.
Sure.
But I'm fairly confident to go out on a limb and say if every driver had to fully build and prepare their own car, that I might be the best suited to do that.
When's the last time you changed?
That'd be an interesting competition, but
yes,
it might end up costing a lot of crash damage with some of the mistakes we would all make.
When's the last time you changed your own oil?
It's been a while. I don't have time for that. Got too much stuff going on with the business and running kids around. So it's been a while.
Wait, are your kids playing hockey?
Yeah, the boys are playing hockey.
Holy crap!
Jen is a successful gymnast, so it's fun. It's fun traveling around and seeing them do good things of their own in an entirely different sport than what I'm used to.
He is Ed Carpenter with us. Of the three, you and Spencer and Ed, and I'm not just going by where you guys start on the grid on Sunday, who has the best car in your estimation of the three?
I don't know. I mean, I think on different days we've all had the strongest car. I was probably the most happy at the end of today's practice of the three of us, but I think all three of them are very strong, and they're all three capable of going out and competing for a win, which is all you can ask for.
I'm going to ask you, because you're, behind absolutely everything that's going on over there. You got your finger on
Not
the pulse.
Everything.
You don't have your finger on the pulse of everything?
Not this month.
Really?
I try to just zero in on what I'm doing and being a teammate and helping those guys. But Tim Broyles, our GM, Colleen, that runs the office and basically everything, they really provide the leadership in May.
Have you received any advertising calls, like extra advertising calls after the impressive weekend that you have? They're probably in charge of it, but have you received any calls?
I don't do that either. Mike Nelson works on our business side, so I hope we've received some. I probably need to check in with them and see where some of that stands.
Yeah, what? See, you should have already. You got to give me some content here.
The truck to put a sticker on the car.
You got to give me some content here. I was hoping that maybe somebody said, "Hey, I got to be a part of this," because I just think that some people that might be on the fence, all of a sudden you see this happen and you see the notoriety that it's getting, the pub that it's getting. That's kind of a game changer, I would think, and the positive for you.
That's always the hope when you go out and perform well and the team does a good job. You hope that it turns into creating some new interest and bringing in some new partners, but. I'm at this point, I'm mainly focused on the partners that have been with us from the beginning of this process and supported the effort that we have with Preferred Freezer and Lineage, SMC, Direct Supply, Auto Geek, WeatherTech, all the logos you see on the cars we have in the show. That they stepped up to make our 3-car team a reality, and they should be the ones getting the credit.
He is Ed Carpenter. He's on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. How long do you have before you have to get on this plane?
Well, I'm delayed till 5:15 now.
Oh hell! I'm going to keep you here until about 5:40.
I thought I was going to have.
Okay. Are you sitting there waiting?
Yeah, I'm sitting at the Wolfgang Puck Express, just hanging out right next to my gate so I can see what's going on. Just had a little turkey BLT sandwich and was working on some notes from the practice session, and you called in. So
all right, I'm glad you said, because there's some content for me. What notes did you come up with for the practice session? Not just for you, but for your teammates.
Those are the types of things I'm not going to talk about on air. It's notes that I put together for myself for future years preparation for my engineers to help dial it in and make it even better than it already is. So
all right. Let's go.
To protect the process.
I understand that. Let's go back a year, though. You finished second a year ago. What were some of the things that you came up with a year ago that helped you out, you think, with that run on race day?
Well, when I think about last year, I think about what we needed to do to be better to win, and that's really what we focused on this month, and that's just being able to be better in dirty air, getting through lap traffic better, not having as many laps where you're running at a pace that's being dictated by a car in front of you. So I feel like we've made improvements. Some of that is a credit to IndyCar and Firestone for the changes they've made with the car and the new tire. And I think the team also has made year over year. So I feel good. Looking forward to the weekend.
As a driver and an owner, is it easier on the nerves to watch your drivers as the owner, or to be out in the car itself and have the entire team out there? And I know that it's different because this is the greatest spectacle in racing and there's nothing to compare it to. But I'm just talking about what's easier on the nerves, being the owner watching or the driver-owner participating?
It's easier being in the car participating because you at least have the sense of some control of what's going to happen. When you're just standing on the sidelines watching the other guys, it's a much more helpless feeling. And thank you. It's a much more helpless feeling of not being able to really affect directly what's going to happen on track.
I thought Saturday was ridiculous. And I know you pointed the finger at yesterday because you had crowds hanging around. You had to wait for the weather and the track to dry, and then you had weather coming in and all this. But that wind, it seemed to me, I was just out and about. It seemed to me like it was changing every 30, 35 minutes or so. And that would be driving those cars around, the wind would scare me maybe more than anything else, to be honest with you.
It's the wind at IMS it's definitely a challenge and something that we have to stay on top of all the time because it changes the way the car drives. It can change the way you need to have the car set up, the gears that you install in the car. So as little as we were actually on track yesterday, relative to the amount of changes that we were making, preparing for whatever conditions we ended up running in, it's a lot of work for 4 laps, but it was worth it.
Hey, somebody wanted to know if you were still pissed at me, and I wanted to let everybody know that you weren't pissed at me. It was just kind of a ploy.
I was just playing a little head game with you, and I'm proud to say that it was fairly successful. But we're all good.
Yeah, I know. And last time you were on, you came on and said that I was sensitive, which is absurd.
Sensitive. Sensitive.
I'm not sensitive. Just wanted to know what was up.
It's all good.
All right. You're winning it on Sunday, right? You're winning it on Sunday.
I know that I'm going to go out and give it my best effort, and I hope that means I'm going to finish one spot higher than I did last year. And then we'll talk again next week.
If you win, and if you win on Sunday, how about if you win on Sunday, I'll go out and rent a tuxedo and show up at the banquet.
That's a deal. I can probably help get you a seat if that happens.
Yeah, I'll show up because that's the last damn place I want to be, and especially the last thing I want to wear. But
is it going to be a Canadian tuxedo or a real tuxedo?
That's a good idea. No, I think it'd be the real deal. I think if you did it, if you got that, I think that I owe you the tuxedo.
Well,
yeah,
that sounds like a deal to me.
I do. I think it's it. I mean, it was close a year ago, and I'm impressed with you guys. I really, of all the teams and what they accomplished over the weekend, I thought you and your guys were the most impressive. There's just like this cool, calm, and collectiveness that you guys have that is Penske-esque, and you guys aren't Penske. You know what I mean? Do you understand that at all? I think that's pretty awesome to have.
I appreciate that compliment. Certainly, we hope to be looked upon as a Penske-type organization someday. I recognize that we're not there yet, but we are building, and I hope to be at that level someday.
All right, what are you going to Dallas for, by the way?
Well, I haven't even really looked at my schedule for tomorrow, but they send the drivers from the 33 drivers all over the country to promote the race and start building up the excitement more so than it already is, and putting out the word to make sure people either buy tickets and fly in and watch the thing or tune into NBC to watch what's going to be an amazing broadcast.
I'm telling you, NBC is doing a hell of a job, boy, Dad. They are.
They are. They're crushing it. They're they've been a great partner, and I think we're all really excited to see the product that they put out there and how they tell our stories.
And I will also say this, and I gave our guys props. We know that the IMS Radio Network does an incredible job, and that's just something that we know. But locally, when the network went off and the local guys from Greg to Tony to Mike Thompson to Donald to Brad Huber, it was equally outstanding. I got to give it up for everybody here because they were on before and on after. And for me, listening at it painted a picture as if I was there. I thought it was awesome. I did.
We're really blessed to have great coverage locally and media members that are passionate and knowledgeable about our sport. And they do, you're right, the IMS Radio Network, and even people like part of your station, you, Tony, that really take the time to get to know us as drivers and athletes and talk about our sport. We appreciate very much.
All right. I'm going to let you go. I'll do the tuxedo thing at the banquet. What's that?
I said that sounds good. I'm going to finish my sandwich.
I'll do the tuxedo at the banquet if you win, even if you don't have a sticker of this me sucking on your car. I understand completely. It's a business, brother.
Deal.
It's a business,
Done
but
deal.
you let me know, and you can pick the color, and we can make it as outrageous. Maybe slap a couple of advertisements on me or something, and we'll do it that way.
I'm thinking like baby blue, kind of like from Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah, I think exactly. Maybe a top hat and some ruffles. Yeah.
Yep. That'd be perfect.
Hey, safe travels, brother. Congratulations.
Right,
That was pretty awesome.
Thanks, John. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, man. Ed Carpenter on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline.